Shemai! So today is the 20th anniversary of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So, in keeping with this, I thought I would do the Harry Potter book tag because I haven't done it yet and I don't understand how I haven't done it yet. So I've got the questions in front of me, but I've also got this little piece of paper that's got my answers to it on from when I was about 15 or 16. And so I thought it'd be interesting to answer my questions now and then read them over as well. Okay, so first question is, which is your favourite book? And oh my gosh, I cannot pick which is my favourite book. That's a horrible question. Don't make me do this. It's probably a toss-up between Prisoner of Azkaban because I just love that, and I want to say Half-Blood Prince. Right, okay, this is my thing. I get really confused between which one the Marauders is in, and it's that one is the one that I'm on about. I think it's Half-Blood Prince, isn't it? Because that's the one where we get to know Snape a bit more, and that's why we get to know the Marauders. I think Half-Blood Prince. So my answer to that one from when I was 15 was either Prisoner of Azkaban or Half-Blood Prince. Next question is, which is your favourite movie? And again, I think probably I'd again go for Prisoner of Azkaban because I really like it. I know some people really dislike it, but I don't know, there's just something about returning to that one that I really, really like. I love the night bus, that's always going to be one of my favourites. And I don't know, it's like the kind of change, it's like year 9, you know? It's like year 9's the best year in high school because you have all your friends, you don't have any like responsibilities yet, you don't have GCSEs. Like, Prisoner of Azkaban is the year 9 of the Harry Potter series. I said on here Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets or something else and I left it blank. And I would never now say Chamber of Secrets. I think if anything that's one of my least favourite ones. I wouldn't have said Chamber of Secrets. Next question is, which is your least favourite book? And again, with these questions, these are not nice questions. I cannot pick my least favourite out of them all. But I think if you're going to class anything as my least favourite, whether you can actually class it as part of the Harry Potter universe or not, I'm going to go with Cursed Child because no. To me, Cursed Child is a bit of fanfic that has J.K. Rowling's name on it. Again, on here I've said, I think it's got to be none of them, for God's sake. So as you can tell, I don't dislike any of the actual series. Next question is, which is your least favourite movie? And as I've kind of reiterated, I wouldn't say Chamber of Secrets is my least favourite movie because I still really like it. But I wouldn't have put it as my favourite movie. Probably, I want to say like one of the Deathly Hallows. I can't remember which one I dislike more, but they're not my favourites. I don't know, it doesn't feel as like fluid as the other ones do. I don't know, I think there's something about it being a tie-up and the fact that it's 2 films. They're just not the two Deathly Hallows just aren't my favourites. Number 5 is, what moments made you cry? And I'm not too sure that I cried in any of the moments whilst reading. I cried at Dobby's death. Sorry, spoilers. I cried at Dobby's death in the film, but not in the book. And I remember thinking that when it happened, because when I was reading it, it was just so sudden, and I didn't even realise that he died until like they were burying him in the next chapter, and it was like, wait, what? In the film, it was a lot more evident that what had happened, and then he had a little bit of a scene after, and it was very sad and emotional, and I cried for that. Of course, I cried when Sirius died, cried when Fred died. Fred is the one that died, isn't he? I always do this. Fred's the one that dies. Fred's the one that dies. I had to check. I cried at Fred's death. I just cried at every death, I think, in the films. I don't remember crying at a lot of the deaths in the books. I think I cried at Sirius's death in the books. On here I've written Dobby's death, but only in the films. In the book it's really blunt. Fred's death in both and Sirius's death in both. There we go. That answers that one. Number 6 is, if you could hook up with any of the characters, who would it be? I think I'm kind of around the right age for the last film, but I can't really say that I'd hook up with anybody younger. I think when I was a bit younger I would have said Cedric Diggory because hello, Robert Pattinson. But I think now, I don't know, maybe Dean Thomas. On this one, I said Cedric Diggory because I was a bit younger. Number 7 is who's your favourite character? And I cannot pick a favourite character. One thing that I will say is Harry is not my favourite character. I've noted multiple times to myself that he's just stupid. But I think that helps you, like, understand him more and makes you yell at him like, Harry, why are you doing this? Why are you not using the mirror to contact Sirius? What are you doing? What are you doing? I think I identify most with Hermione, obviously, because, you know, she's Hermione, she's amazing. I remember, I think it was one summer, I started writing the Philosopher's Stone fanfic, kind of, but through the perspective of Hermione, and I really, really enjoyed that because I, like, made up Hermione's, like, home life, and I found that really, really interesting and fun for me to do because I did a lot of research into the lives of all the individuals and how things worked, and I think I might revisit that actually. That sounds like a really fun thing to do this summer. But yeah, I think I'd probably say Hermione is one of my favourite characters, but then also Sirius and Remus and their little, like, bromance, just, yeah. In the past I said either Hermione or Luna, and I do love Luna. Luna's lovely. Number 8 is what would your Patronus be? And I don't know whether I say that right. Is it Patronus? Is it Patronus? I think I used to call it a Patronus, but it's actually Patronus. I don't know. What would your Patronus be? I took the test on Pottermore and I think it's a Ginger Tom. I didn't answer it on my previous one because I hadn't taken the test because it wasn't available, and I didn't really know. Number 9 is which Deathly Hallow would you choose? And I think everyone would just completely put the Resurrection Stone to the side. I don't think anyone's going to choose that, to be honest, because it's basically told in the story that it is not a useful thing to have, so why take it? Probably I'm going to go with Invisibility Cloak because why not? I think a wand's a wand and there's kind of like too much stigma around the Elder Wand for it to be useful. I think if people knew you had it, they'd want it from you, and yeah, whatever. I think Invisibility Cloak, just so you could sneak around Hogwarts and be all... So on here I said Cloak because you can throw snowballs at people, plus the dude in The Tale of Three Brothers lives longest with it. Clearly 15-year-old me wanted to live long and prosper. Number 10 is what house are you in? And I have sorted myself 3 times. I think the first time I was a Hufflepuff and the second 2 times I was a Ravenclaw, and I definitely identify more as a Ravenclaw. I think people who know me would also agree that I was a Ravenclaw. Whilst I'm very proud to have been sorted into Hufflepuff and I take great pride in that, I find myself very much a kind of mixture of the two. I'm very happy to be called a Hufflepuff. If someone said you're a Hufflepuff, I would absolutely love that. But I do identify more as a Ravenclaw. Number 11 is which cast member would you like to meet? And to be honest, I love the cast. I love the cast of Harry Potter. I think they're all like such really good people. Overall, I'd probably say Emma Watson because she's such an activist for women's rights and she's so inspiring. I love her to bits and she's just amazing. I love her and she's so pretty. Can we not? On here I also said Emma. Number 12 is have you ever played any Harry Potter video games? And I don't believe I have. I didn't start reading the books until I was 14, I believe, because my auntie had her first child and she was reading him the books, and so it was really interesting because, I mean, as she was reading it to him, I was sat there like, oh, this sounds really good, I want to read this. So, I mean, she was reading him Chamber of Secrets, so I was there like, I'm just going to steal your copy of Philosopher's Stone and I'm going to go read it. And then I eventually gave it back to her. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was 14, so I was obviously a bit late to it, but it still resonated with me and I still wanted to read it. So it's definitely not a children's book. So, I mean, I think it's suitable for anybody, to be honest. But I'm really sad that I wasn't read it as a child, that like as it was coming out, and I never got that experience of going to the cinema and seeing the big Harry Potter sign and just like bursting into tears. So I'm sad that I never really got any of that. Like my parents never really read me anything else like Narnia or Lord of the Rings. They never really read any of those. I'd love to pass that on to my kids if I have kids, and share that love of this world that I never really got to experience when I was that age. So no, my answer to the question is I haven't ever played a Harry Potter video game. The next question is, if you were on a Quidditch team, which position would you play? I probably wouldn't say Seeker because I'm not don't have the best eyesight. Probably wouldn't say beta because I don't have a very good aim with hitting things. I'm awful at things like rounders and tennis and all that jazz. I'm not very good at catching things or kicking things away, so I wouldn't be a very good keeper, so I'm probably going to have to say chaser because that's all that's left. I'm just not a very sporty person. Don't pick me for your team. That's also the answer that I gave on my little sheet as well. Number 14 is, were you happy with the ending? And I think I was when I read it. I think I was pretty happy with it. I was a bit put off by like, why is it 19 years? But I was quite happy to get to like see a bit of the future, but I did like that it was all just nice and swift, and yeah. That's why I didn't like Cursed Child, because it just dragged out a bit and I didn't like it, and it's very fanficky, and no thank you. On here I said no because it ended, and then I said yes because the goodie inevitably defeated the baddie. And the last question is, how much does Harry Potter mean to you? It's a difficult one because I wasn't brought up with it and I found it by myself. It was more of just an experience of learning about these characters, and not so much as like growing up with them as it was for a lot of other people. It was very much just kind of like learning about them and being taken away by this magical fantasy world that is just amazing, and this pure like respect for J.K. Rowling after everything that she's done, everything she's gone through, and what the amount of effort she's put into these books. The imagination of that woman, oh my word, oh my word. And also the determination that she has, like, just wow. It means a lot to me. It's a big part of my life because it's one of those things that you're always going to come back to. It's something that I want to share with my kids in the future. It's something that I want to share with as many friends as I can. So if I have friends that haven't watched it, I'll pretty much force them to watch it at least, if not read the books. I might just chuck a copy of Philosopher's Stone their way. And I don't know, I kind of have this thing where, you know, when you meet someone or like, you're friends with someone and you just want to sort them into a house, you want to make them take the Pottermore test just so you can, like, you know, when you just think, that person is definitely a Hufflepuff, or that person is such a Slytherin, oh my word. And then they take the test and you either are proved right, obviously, because you're amazing and you can so totally like put people into the houses. You could be the next Sorting Hat, to be honest. But then the other thing is when you're proved wrong. But yes, Harry Potter means a lot to me, and I'm very thankful that my auntie introduced it to me, and I hope I will carry on loving it forever. On here I wrote, out of 10, 9 3/4. Something else that I did write on here was, I've not been to Harry Potter World / Studios, but I really want to, crying face. And I'd like to say now that I have now been to Harry Potter Studios and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Me and my mum went. Yeah, it was a well done for your exams kind of treat during October half term after my GCSE exams, and we had a fab time. But it was really fun to like see how much detail was put into every single aspect of making the films. It was amazing. And my favourite place was the gift shop. I can't remember everything that I got from the gift shop, but the thing that I used the most is this. It's so cozy, it's huge, and it was like 26 quid, which is very, it's a bit much for a pillow. I think it was like 26 quid, I think, around that. But I love it. It sits on my bed. It was down there, but it normally sits on my bed. I love it so much. I also got a Ravenclaw scarf. I got, let's see, what's around my room? I have loads of like little Harry Potter things around my room. This little Hermione that my friend got me. This Harry Potter mug. I got this in a like subscription box that my friends bought me for my birthday. They bought me 3 and I absolutely love everything that got in them. So I might do a little haul of what was in those. And yeah, these are just like little things around my room. My year 11 GCSE DT project was a Harry Potter lamp. I love Harry Potter very much, and I'm glad that we can now celebrate the 20th anniversary, and to celebrate I will go out and I will buy myself a copy of the Ravenclaw edition of the Philosopher's Stone. So The word for the day will be celebration. So this is my thing with languages, is that I don't know all the words. So sometimes when I'm doing these words for the days, I go and I look them up. It's okay to learn new vocab. So I'm going to pause this and I'm going to come back and I will know, because I will look it up. I will look up what is celebration in Welsh, celebration in French, and to celebrate in French. I will be back now. Okay, so the majority of the time I should go with my gut because I had a feeling it was going to be these things. So in Welsh, to celebrate is dathlu, and I knew that. Celebration is dathliad, and then in French, to celebrate is fêter ou célébrer, and celebration is either la fête ou la célébration. So there we go. I had a feeling it was going to be those things in French, but I wanted to make sure before I made a fool of myself. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you when I see you. Hwyl!